the night a longevity theory collapsed. It took one night to unravel an idea scientists had trusted for decades, not in a lab explosion or public scandal, but in a quiet review of data that refused to line up the way it was supposed to. For years, aging had been explained through a clean, reassuring model. Damage accumulates. Systems wear down. Time wins. But to understand why this moment mattered, we need to revisit how deeply that model shaped modern longevity thinking. Because nearly every intervention was built on the assumption that aging was a one-way process driven by inevitable decay. The study in question was meant to confirm that belief. Long-term data, large population, clear variables. But as the numbers were rechecked late into the night, something strange emerged. Certain individuals showed periods where aging markers stalled. Some even reversed temporarily. At first, this was blamed on error, faulty measurements, statistical noise, but the pattern repeated across datasets, across decades. The theory that aging moved in a straight, downward line began to wobble. What stood out was not who aged better, but when these reversals clustered around specific life phases, transitions, disruptions, moments when routine broke and new structures formed. This contradicted everything expected. Stress was supposed to accelerate aging. Change was supposed to destabilize the system. Yet here, certain disruptions appeared to reset biological momentum. That night marked a turning point. Not because a new theory was ready, but because the old one could no longer explain what was being seen. Aging, it seemed, was not just about damage over time. It was responding to how life itself was being reorganized. As researchers dug into these reversals, a pattern slowly clarified. The people who experienced them were not the healthiest, nor the most disciplined. They were the ones whose lives had recently changed in meaningful ways. New roles, new environments, new responsibilities. The nervous system was forced to adapt. Old habits dissolved. Attention sharpened. Learning resumed. The body entered a state more common in youth than in stability. Biologically, this made sense. Adaptation activates repair. Novelty stimulates neuroplasticity. Purpose-driven change recalibrates stress responses. In these windows, the body temporarily prioritized renewal over conservation. This challenged the idea that stability was always protective. In reality, prolonged sameness can dull adaptive systems. Without challenge, repair pathways downshift. The body coasts, and aging accelerates quietly. The theory collapse forced a reframing. Aging was not simply the accumulation of damage. It was a result of adaptive systems being underused. Change, when meaningful and bounded, could restore some of that capacity. This did not mean chaos was beneficial. Random stress still caused harm. But structured change, paired with recovery, appeared to refresh biological function. The implication was unsettling. Modern life seeks to eliminate disruption. Predictability is prized. Comfort is optimized. But in doing so, we may be suppressing the very signals that keep aging in check. The theory had collapsed because it was incomplete. It ignored the role of adaptation. And once that omission was seen, it could not be unseen. The conflict now came into focus. If adaptation protects against aging, then environments that minimize change may unintentionally accelerate it. Comfort becomes a slow trap. Researchers began examining modern routines. Commutes that never vary. Work that repeats endlessly. Digital environments designed to reduce friction and surprise. Life became smooth, but biologically quiet. In such settings, stress did not disappear. It transformed. Instead of sharp challenges followed by recovery, people experienced low-grade monotony mixed with constant cognitive demand. The nervous system stayed alert, but rarely stimulated in ways that promoted growth. The state proved corrosive. Repair pathways require contrast. Learning requires novelty. Without them, systems default to maintenance mode. Over time, maintenance degrades. Attempts to inject novelty artificially often failed. Hobbies added after exhaustion. Travel squeezed into limited vacation windows. Change layered on top of chronic stress did not produce adaptation. It produced burnout. The data pointed to a narrow window. Beneficial disruption had to be meaningful. It had to alter identity, not just schedule. And it had to be followed by integration, not immediate return to overload. This clashed with modern design. Systems optimized for efficiency resist disruption. Roles are rigid. Paths are narrow. Change is treated as risk rather than renewal. The conflict, then, was structural. Longevity required adaptive cycles that modern life had largely removed. And without those cycles, aging accelerated not because life was hard, but because it was too static. The climax of this story is a recognition that aging is not only about wear. It is about whether the body is still being asked to adapt. The night the theory collapsed revealed a missing dimension. Stability preserves function in the short term, but adaptation preserves vitality over time. Without challenges that require growth, biological systems slowly power down. The resolution is not to chase constant disruption. It is to reintroduce meaningful transitions, new roles, new skills, new responsibilities that demand learning and engagement. Longevity science often focuses on preservation. Protect what exists, slow decline. But this story suggests that renewal requires more. It requires environments that occasionally unsettle us, then allow recovery. As societies age, the danger is not simply physical decline. It is stagnation. Lives that remain safe, comfortable, and biologically quiet. Because in the end, aging accelerates fastest not when life becomes difficult, but when it stops asking us to change. Subscribe to join the journey.